What do I want to be when I grow up? A question we have all asked ourselves at least once in life, and a question some adults still ask themselves because they don't know what they want to be yet. Hopefully this video is going to help you find some kind of direction, help you find your true passion, and help you use the right pathways to get there. Now, this is something I discovered recently, but also something I discovered 10 years ago. Let me explain. So I wanted to be a rapper 10 years ago, but never really took it seriously until very recently. And there's a variety of different reasons why, which I'll go into later on. But first, I'm going to tell you where this whole thing started. So about 10 years ago, I was in university. I believe I started at the age of 18, didn't finish till about 21 because I took on a master's degree. But where the love of rap came from was one day I was sitting in my hotel room, sitting in my dorm room, just chilling out, trying to figure out what my life was, where it was going, what I really wanted to do. I did a criminology degree. Did I want to do it? Not really. It was something that interested me at the time. It was something that was passing the time by. And yes, there were elements of it that I wanted to do, but this is not something I wanted to pursue for the rest of my life. So I literally just sat there and I heard like just magic coming from next door. It was the rapper J. Cole being played by my roommate. I literally went over to his room, knocked on his door and was like, listen, who is this? You need to give me all this music now. And he obliged and he gave me all of J. Cole's content. Shout out to Abdu. Yeah, he literally gave me all of his music, and that night I sat there and listened to the whole of the J. Cole discography. And from that point on, I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to rap, and this wasn't something that hit me there and then. This is something I was in love with for years. So music I've been in love with for many years. Didn't know what path I wanted to go down, what kind of musician I wanted to be. I just knew I wanted to be in the music industry in some way, shape or form. And literally that day changed my life. Hearing J. Cole from my neighbor's room changed my life. So from that point on, I started writing and I took it seriously. I started writing for the following 2 to 3 years properly. So while I was in Leicester, in university, I was writing, trying to become the best writer I possibly could. Got to the end of my university life in Leicester and I had two options. I could either go for a master's degree or I could try and figure out what I wanted to do career-wise. I had all these pressures, I had all these people asking me, so what are you going to do now? You graduated, what are you going to do now? I went for a master's degree to give myself one more year to try and figure out really what I wanted to do. But basically, to cut a long story short, I'm still pursuing that dream of being a well-known or famous rapper. See, like, I'm a rapper. I rap, I write music, I'm a rapper. And what some people fail to understand is they think they have to be that thing or can only be that thing when they get famous. And that's not necessarily the case. Like, if you draw or create illustrations, you're an illustrator. If you write books or write novels or whatever, you're a writer. Like, you don't have to be famous and well known to be those things. You already are those things. And that's what people need to understand. Once you realize that you are those things, once you start doing it, then you can take yourself seriously and move on and really think about what you want to do in your next step in life and find that direction. So finding your direction, I believe, in my personal opinion, there's 3 things that you need to do to figure out what direction you're going in. The first thing is to identify what you enjoy doing. The second is to map out a timeline as to where it's going to go, where you want to be at a certain point in life. And the third thing is to have self-belief. Those 3 things will get you there in no time. If you can implement some sort of strategy into your life to address those 3 things, then I believe that you can get there in the time that you need to get there. So coming up, when I was younger, I used to enjoy so many different things. I love sports, I love playing musical instruments here and there. Like, not that I was any good at them, but I just enjoyed it. I remember we randomly had a flute in the house. I had a guitar when I was younger. Like, I just enjoy that sort of stuff. I love gaming. I still love gaming now. But those were things kind of like I wasn't really taking seriously, not something I really wanted to do as a career. One thing that's always been in my life was music, and I was lucky enough to identify what I wanted to do early on. It's still, I'm still on that journey of kind of getting better every single day, but I'm also on that journey of getting to that level where people know who I am and I can then use my platform for positive things. So identifying what you want to do early on, yeah, it's important, but it's not, it's not going to be the thing that's going to help you get to where you need to be. If you can identify what you want to do and then start working at that. It doesn't matter how early it is, as long as you put in the work, as long as you start grinding for it. Now, in that process, you need to figure out, so obviously as adults we need a job, we need a 9 to 5, we need to pay bills, etc. So in that process we need to figure out what we can do as a job that's close enough to the thing that we want to be. So for myself, being a rapper, being in the music industry is something that I want to do. So something close to that would be, for example, maybe working at a radio station, maybe having my own podcast, maybe working for some sort of media agency. That's what I would do to try and be around the sort of same things day in and day out. Because I've been in jobs where it's completely taken my focus off music. It's made me hate music at times because it's like, this thing is so unattainable. I'm in this 9 to 5, I'm never gonna get there, I might as well quit. So you need to try and figure out, again, identify what you enjoy and then execute on it. So if you do want to be a writer, like a novelist or whatever, then maybe try and get a job in a local newspaper. Maybe try and write for a magazine, different things like that. Implementing these different strategies will help you get to where you need to be. But we get so lost in the day-to-day. We think about how we're not there yet. We think about, will we ever get there? These are all things, these are all doubts, these are all sort of insecurities projected onto us by other people. Finding out what you love, it's a journey. It takes a long time to do that. It can take a long time to do that. Some people figure it out straight away. So again, like I said, when I was a kid, I wanted to be all these different things. I wanted to be a flipping archaeologist, man. I had no love for like digging and, you know, finding these like artifacts or whatever, but for some reason it was in my head like, yeah, I'm gonna be an archaeologist. Boom. It got to like 1 year later and I was like, yeah, now I want to be like a firefighter. Like, it was mad when I was younger. But I think if you can figure out what you want to be and just start working hard for it, or towards it, sorry, there's no reason why you can't do that thing. So identify what you enjoy and start executing on that. Start doing that daily. So if you have your 9 to 5, any spare time that you have, start investing that into what you really want to do. That's how you're going to get there. The second point is figuring out some kind of timeline for yourself. If you just say to yourself, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a firefighter, I want to be a writer, that's great. You've put it out there into the universe, you've told yourself what you want to be, but how are you going to do it? You need some sort of practical strategy implemented to get there in a certain amount of time. So for example, if you want to be a doctor, you know it takes X amount of time. In medical school, you need to do specific studies, whether you want to specialize in being a surgeon, a GP, all that other stuff. You need some sort of timeline to get there. Same as being a firefighter, a police officer, whatever you want to be, you need a timeline. And what we tend to do is we're like, yeah, we want to do it, and then we just start, you know, maybe dabbling in it a little bit and like expect to get there. That's not how it works. You need to set yourself a timeline. So for myself, 30 years old, by 35, I want to be touring. So I will then reverse engineer and figure out, okay, touring at 35, I'm 30 now, 5 years. What am I doing in that 5 years to get to that level? Before I wasn't doing that. I was just like, yeah, I want to be a rapper. Okay, right, I believe I'm a rapper. What am I doing now? And it's just been a few years of, I'll do this, no real practical strategy put into place. And unfortunately, I'm still not at the level I want to be at because there was no plan that was implemented. Now I have a plan, I'm implementing it. I can slowly see myself making decisions and making moves that are slowly getting me into the public eye, getting me that recognition that I need to start touring. So you need a timeline, you need to be wise with your time as well. One thing we think we have is unlimited amount of time. Life is very, very short. Once we figure that out, once we realize that, you know, we haven't got 30 years, we haven't got 40 years, we might only have 5 years or 3 years, or we might even only have a day, but we need to be executing every single day on our goals and our ambitions and our drives. One quote I read a while back, or an example someone gave actually, it was one of the worst things to go through on your deathbed is regret. Like regretting that, you know, you could have done X, Y, and Z, like fine, a past is a past, whatever, it's done. But today is the moment you should decide that you're going to do this for the rest of your life. You're going to work as hard as you can. So even if you don't get there, you can say to yourself, I worked hard to get to where I need to be. I worked hard, it didn't work out, but I put in everything. I gave it my all, it wasn't meant to be. That is better than being on your deathbed and going, you know what, I could have just done that little extra to get to where I need to be. Because that, in your mind, could have been the difference. And that's not a way to go out, man. You want to go out thinking, you know what, I did everything I needed to do to get to where I need to be, and it didn't work out. And that is better for you. So get a timeline, stick to it, And if you need to adjust along the way, but don't make too many adjustments, because you'll get caught up in all the logistics of things and that will put you off. And that's not where you want to be in a headspace wise. You want to just keep going, keep doing your thing. And the last point I want to cover, and it's most certainly not the least, is self-belief. Self-belief is the biggest driver of success. We think that, yeah, you know what, if we just tell ourselves we can do it, we can do it. It doesn't work like that, man. Self-belief is a struggle. You're going to struggle with motivation. You're going to struggle with believing in yourself. And this is a day-to-day battle. I go through it now. I know for a fact, right, my writing has got better in the last 10 years. I can honestly say that the way I write is up to the level of most people in the industry. I can say that from a humble perspective and from a confident perspective. I'm not trying to be cocky in this situation, but I know I can write to a very high standard. But there'll still be days where I'll say to myself, you know what, I don't really, you know, and then I'll catch myself, because as soon as you let that into your mind, as soon as you say to yourself, I can't do this or I can't do that, it takes a while to recover from that. So self-belief is important. You need to wake up every single day. You need to firstly be grateful that you're given an opportunity to be alive and to keep pursuing what you're pursuing. And the second thing is you need to have self-belief. You need to tell yourself you can do it. People before you have done it, it is possible. But it comes through hard work. It comes through patience. Being talented, unfortunately, is not enough anymore. Like, there's so many talented people out there. Like, one of the examples recently I thought about was Tom Holland in Spider-Man, right? Like, you know, he's not American. He's not from, like, Brooklyn. You know, he's a British kid that is playing an American guy from Brooklyn. I believe Brooklyn. Like, he worked hard to get there. Like, they could have picked any American kid to do that, but they didn't. They picked him because he's worked hard to get to where he needs to be. There might have been kids that were more talented than him in that audition, but he got the role. So hard work will beat talent every single day of the week, and hard work only comes through self-belief. You're not going to work hard if you don't believe in yourself. That's just full stop. Like, you don't believe in yourself, the hard work's not going to come. Why would you work hard if you don't believe in yourself? So every day you need to tell yourself you are worthy of whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. You can be as great as whoever it is. And the third thing is, you're not going to let anything like penetrate your mental state of mind. Yeah, of course we have bad days, but another quote, I love quotes. So another quote was Kevin Hart said, the sun's going to shine in the morning. Like, regardless of what you're feeling or how you're doing or whatever the case may be, the sun is still going to shine in the morning. Like, it's not going to stop you. No one is going to stop for you. This world won't stop for you. You have to keep grinding, keep working hard. And again, the foundations is self-belief. Believe in yourself. You can do it. You can do it. And that's a reminder to myself as well. Again, we all have bad days, but those bad days shouldn't determine the rest of our lives. If we have a bad day, cool, but we should keep moving on. Just keep doing what we're doing. If you wake up that day, you feel a bit crap, fine. Just keep doing what you're doing. Do what you did yesterday. Like, your mood should not impede on your hard work or your motivation or your schedule. Just keep doing what you're doing, because again, that day you don't want to waste that 24 hours thinking about how you're not worthy and how you're not this, you're not that. Let your actions do the work for you. Keep working hard. Show everybody, but mostly yourself, that you're worthy of what you're trying to achieve, and I promise you, you're gonna get there. And the last point I want to make is that when you are on a direction to something, it's not a straight road. Everyone assumes that because I know what I want to be, this is my path, it's going to be a straight road. That's never the case. A lot of the times, people have found success in things that they never thought they would, or in a route they'd never thought they'd take. And that's what happens a lot of the times. Like, yeah, you can go the conventional way of, let me give you an example, like J.K. Rowling. I think there was like 13 publishers that rejected her work, but she could have stopped after number 1 or 2. Once you take a blow like that, you could stop. But she had 13 failures along her way before she got her big break, and now she's killing it. A lot of other people have had their journey. So if you wanted to be, for example, a rapper, right? You'd make a song, you'd sign to a label, you'd get a big hit, people know who you are, boom, that's the journey. But a lot of artists coming up now, that's not the journey. A lot of people are now independent, so they have to not make their one-hit wonder, but they have to create a fan base. And once they've got that fan base, they take them with them to the next project and the next project, and along the way you pick up fans. So you might look at someone or look up to someone and say, oh, they did it this way. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work that way for you. Your journey is going to be completely different to anyone else's. Never ever compare yourself or your journey to someone else's. Of course, look up to them for inspiration, look up to them in terms of what they've done and what strategies they've implemented, which may help you, but what is right for them may not necessarily be right for you. So don't get hung up in all the details about so-and-so got there, this was their journey. Focus on your journey, and I promise you'll find success. Guys, that is the video today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure you hit the like button, make sure to subscribe and share, and I'll catch you on the next one. But before I go, and I forget this every video, my socials are in the description box below. Make sure you hit me up on those. Peace and love. Take care.